Through our research, we have discovered that racism has not diminished but has evolved to be more passive.
What I'm hearing a lot of these days is we've already done it all. We had a black president, therefore we have achieved an equal society, and we shouldn't give anybody any breaks just because of their skin color. Okay? That ignores the fact that that's a very small proportion of people that are entitled to those breaks, and it ignores the fact that we are a much more complex society, and we are not just black and white.
And the most disheartening thing, I think, is that we live in a state that associates crime with one portion of the population, which is African Americans, and specifically African American males. And if you look at what drives the poverty, then that's a key element.
I'm pretty lucky where I don't run into blatant racism, but I do have to say that, to being a black person, when I'm stopped by the police or when I'm driving a car that has insurance.
Yeah.
Everything's up to date. I have no reason to be afraid.
Yeah.
But when I see a police officer in the rearview mirror, I'm afraid.
For most successful black people I know, they always have to consciously carry themselves in a way that, they always have to consciously carry themselves in a way that's appropriate for the people around them. Because, in most successful business places and stuff like that, you're honestly probably not going to see that many black people in that space. So just always having to consciously carry yourself in a way, make sure you don't talk too ghetto, or making sure you dress, I wouldn't say dress because women have to worry about that too, but I don't know, just making sure you don't act too black all the time, having to consciously always worry about.
It was understood growing up on the West Bank and the Harvey that if you had more than if I had more than one other black friend in the car with me, there's a very good chance we were going to get stopped. To the point where it was a certain understanding where if we had more than a couple of us in the car and we got pulled over, there was a certain level of us kind of owning it as if it was our fault because we knew the circumstance.
I dated a white girl at one time, and I was talking to her on the phone. Her parents had never met me. Well, they had no problem with me talking to her, but when they actually found out I was black, she was no longer allowed to talk to me. I've had teachers in high school that would tell the parents of the white kids that dated black kids, they would warn them, your daughter is dating, a black kid. So, stuff like that has happened. I've had people call me the N-word. I've just had instances of people that didn't know me that made assumptions about me strictly based on my race. So
It's this assumption that I'm not able to do the same things that other kids my age who are white can do. I just remember this, this has happened multiple times in a classroom where a teacher will not give me a chance to answer the question because it's almost like they think I can't answer the question, but I've seen them push white kids, especially white males, more to get to an answer, while with me, if I take a second to think, it's they think I don't know it, versus if it's they ask somebody else, they'll push them to the answer. They're I know you can get it, just da 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 da. And I'm why don't I get that same kind of expectation?
I think having to prove otherwise, being told things like, oh wow, you're so well spoken, as if it's shocking that I'm well spoken. So, you still get those things.
The reality is everybody's got their prejudices, and one of the wonderful things about New Orleans is we've got this melange and we've got this variation. What's more dangerous about it is it's more subtle.
I think until we can get to a place where people are accepting individuals for who they are and wanting to engage in a conversation to understand experiences of other people, racism can't be over.
As long as African Americans, as long as poor whites, as long as poor Hispanics are kept are kept in that loop of poverty that in some ways preys upon them, then I don't think that the racial issues in America will ever be dealt with.
These things do, I think, still exist. But, you know, with that being said, I've kind of taken the task of, you know, it's a hurdle, but it's one that's not going to go away. And so it's for us to attack it and to overcome it every single day.
People dying literally because of stereotypes against their skin color, these stereotypes that have been building up for years can actually get people killed. It's just the most mind-blowing, saddest, heartbreaking thing to me. Like, people lose their sons and cousins and all this over people literally being afraid of something different.